Don't ask me to talk.
From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Join me, Stacey Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
as we talk about what's good to watch, read, see, listen to, and more.
An edutaining 1-hour break in your day that includes the segment, What Are We Eating? Sponsored by Dingfelder's Delicatessen.
Stick with us for something good. Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Ask Me to Talk here on Kixie. I am Stacey Heller, and I am joined by my co-host, Eric Ryder.
Hey!
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
It is so nice to be back.
It is, yes.
It was an unexpected break. I have been sick. And so it has been, it was a kind of a brutal end of the year into the new
it
year.
sounds like it for sure.
However, I'm back and I'm ready.
Better than ever.
Exactly. So I figure, we need a little reintroduction of what Don't Ask Me to Talk is about.
2023 and me is going to be good.
Oh, yeah, 2023 and me. That's funny. All right. I do have some new relatives according to my 23andMe app. So that's always fun to see, cousins and stuff. Anyway, again, I'm already sidetracked. Okay, so Don't Ask Me to Talk is basically a show that is good old-fashioned conversation. It is the water cooler banter that happens back when there were water coolers. It's the chit-chat that happens. So we like to talk about random topics. And
it's slightly bigger talk than small talk. Maybe
it is.
medium
it's
talk.
Medium talk.
Yeah.
But not like psychic medium. Just like it's not
Right.
It's not like big stuff, but it's not small talk either. I like that. Medium talk. I don't know. We like these random topics because it's so funny how each week at the end of the show, we have our Wheel O topics and we come up with something random to discuss. And without fail, there's some interesting things that come up in the conversation.
For sure.
And one of us, or maybe both of us, are always like, oh, what are we going to talk about with that? And one of us, or mostly both of us, don't really prepare for the show the next week. So it is very off the
I'm
cuff.
glad you didn't just call me out
Yeah,
as
no,
being
no.
the one
Totally.
that doesn't prepare.
No, but I mean,
Because I do. I prepare mentally, but you prepare. You actually physically prepare.
I spend about
with
a
the
half
notes
an
and
hour
stuff. Yes.
on Thursday mornings, writing down some things.
And much appreciated because we couldn't do it without you doing that.
Well, it's always
I
good.
mean, we could, but it just wouldn't be as good.
Well, and, it gives you 3 hours or something to prepare for the show. So, but I like the off-the-cuff conversation. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, we've got the topic, and I usually write a few show notes about oh, hey, this is what I'm thinking and whatever. But I love how this good stuff comes from random topics because unexpected things come up, and we go in weird directions. And I think that's interesting. And like you say in our promo for the show, it's edutaining. It's a little bit educational and hopefully very entertaining for people. So if you're enjoying what you're hearing, you can find past episodes of Don't Ask Me to Talk wherever you listen to podcasts. Maybe you want to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. You can also follow the show on Stacey Talks, which is on Instagram. And if you would like to connect with us, feel free to text or call. Our number is 475-999-2726.
That's 475-999-CRAM.
Operators are standing by.
That's right.
So,
ready to have your text or voicemail crammed right into our inbox.
Exactly. And it is sadly empty at the moment. I cleaned it out for the new year, and so feel free to be the first drop in the inbox.
Fantastic.
We would love to hear from
It's
somebody.
all disinfected and squeaky clean.
Exactly.
Ready for your thoughts.
It's that happy feeling you get when you clean your ears.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's something very satisfying about cleaning your ears.
Yes, for sure.
So, but
I was just thinking that our inbox had earwax on it for a second. That's the image.
no.
Yeah.
the new year, like I'm not into the whole resolution thing and all of that. But there is something about putting away the holiday decorations after they've been up. And then, if you have been
And I'm
given...
going to do that eventually.
Hey, you know what? I mean, Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
That's true.
So you can have a Valentine's Day tree.
Uh-huh.
But there's certain times of the year that are natural purging and cleanup times. Like the new year isn't so much like new year, new me. It's like new year, clean stuff up, like get my ducks in a row. And I associate back to school with that, even though my kids are pretty much grown and out of the house. There's only one that's left in college. September still feels like back to school for me. There's just these, moments on the calendar that it's like, all right, here we go. We're gonna get ourselves together. And I really mean it every time I say it. And one of these days, I'm gonna do it.
Very good.
Right? Yeah, probably. Speaking of holidays, like Valentine's Day, which if today is the 12th, that means that there is a month. So be thinking about this. Don't say I didn't warn you, everybody. We, each week on the show, we like to talk about the very important holidays, spelled with a Z, that happen on Thursdays. And probably for the past month, you guys have been like, I don't know what day it is. I mean, I wonder how many of our listeners have actually gone to look up, like, what's going on today. I don't know what to celebrate. I mean, they probably have been adrift.
Some internal holiday crisis.
Right? They're like, I don't even know who to give a card to.
I like to think with the actual recognized holidays of Christmas and New Year's that people had their hands full and it was okay, that they weren't in crisis wondering what ridiculous high holiday it was.
I mean, like, yes, but also I sort of like the idea that maybe they were in crisis, not knowing, like, what was going on without us. I mean, I don't wish ill on anyone, but I want to be needed.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I will tell you that between today and next week's show, it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So that's a real holiday.
Absolutely.
So that's a legit one. Now, today is Kiss a Ginger Day. That doesn't feel like a real holiday. However,
but one that you no doubt celebrate by being a ginger and accepting those kisses probably from your husband. One would help, and maybe some kids
honestly,
getting some cheek action.
I mean, like, where's my kiss, Eric? Yeah, it's so funny because the whole ginger thing, I don't remember growing up. I mean, it was like just redheads, right? I mean, and I was like, red. I was that orange-haired girl with the pale skin and like, so flamey orange. And my hair got more and more auburn as I aged. And now I have fully let it go gray. But even though I've let it go gray, there's still some color in it. So I like to describe my hair as rose gold. What can I say? But the whole ginger thing, I feel like that's what
branding
South Park,
experts never rest.
Right? I mean, hey, it's my brand identity. But the whole ginger thing, I feel like the idea of calling somebody a ginger came with South Park.
It's always been a thing in the UK and in Ireland and stuff. So I think, forever they've been doing that, and we, for whatever reason, stuck with redheads. But you're right. In the U.S., it's kind of taken on a thing now where I think more people say ginger than redheads now.
Yeah. When I was a kid and I got bored at church, I know, blasphemous, but it happened. I would look around the church looking for redheads and see how many I could find. So it was kind of like I Spy. And that was amusing. And then I would also, during the Kiss of Peace, when you're like, peace be with you, I would try to beat my own record.
It was just a handshake apiece in my church. Wow.
Oh, well.
You guys were a little more frisky.
I mean, kiss a ginger,
and not just
kiss
on
a piece.
Kiss a Ginger Day.
I know, because today's Thursday, and like typically church is like Saturday night or Sunday. I don't know. I grew up, my mom called it the kiss of peace. I don't know. Maybe it was like the kiss of death, but kiss of peace. And I would like see if I could beat my last week's record of how many people I shook hands with. So future politician, maybe?
Yeah, because there is that like 90-second window where people, peace be with you, peace be with you.
Right?
Yeah, and there
and
is
like
a little bit of a time
like,
crunch to, hey.
Exactly. So it's very like political where you're like, hey.
See, I was the opposite. I was like, how few people can I shake hands with and say peace be with you? But do it within that window of time so I don't look like I'm, actively not wishing peace on people. I didn't necessarily want to reach out to strangers.
I needed to like engage in order to not fall asleep. And were you like a hold the hymnal person so that you could like read along, or were you a stand there with your head down sullen person?
Somewhere in between, probably.
All right. I liked being able to read along. And I remember like I would listen and I'd be like, I could probably say this better except for all these names that are very difficult to say. So anyway, another tangent that I've gone on. But so hey, it's Kiss or Ginger Day. So if you know someone with red hair, then remember, ask first because consent is key. But show us some love. I mean, I'm tired of hearing that I don't have a soul. Thanks, South Park.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, redheads and gingers have been, unfortunately, the butt of jokes for far too long, and the butt of actual real prejudice, which seems insane, right?
Totally.
But it just goes to show people can be prejudiced about anything.
Yeah. And I'm like,
left-handed people used to.
I'm a lefty with red hair, born on Friday the 13th, with black cats.
So just like my mom, also a left-handed redhead. And so, she tells me stories of, the bad old days. And I do not envy people growing up like that.
No, I remember we were studying Native Americans in, like, I think 2nd or 3rd grade. And we had to come up with, like, okay, what's your name going to be during this unit? And, you had your different tribes, and we were learning about the various tribes from around the country. And I remember the name that I came up with was Red Fox. Yeah, baby. And everyone was like, oh, you should be Fireface, which just made me blush and made between my blushing face and my red hair. Yeah, anyway. So it's not easy being a ginger, so show us some love.
Is there anything worse than being told that you're blushing?
Oh, no, because it makes you blush more.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, like, it is, and I don't know why people don't know that.
Oh, they know it.
Well, but it's like...
and they're enjoying
I know, and
making
it's so,
you more embarrassed.
Why? Like, that's just the worst.
Why do people have prejudice towards left-handed people or redheads? Because.
Yes. And the whole left-handed thing, I mean, okay, I just want to tell all of you people out there, it's still the afternoon when you go home and you maybe cook something this evening and you have your glass measuring cup that has a handle. I want you to think about when a left-handed person holds that, they're seeing the side that is like the UK measurements.
Metric.
Yeah, that one. The one that the entire world uses except for us. Yeah, that one.
That'd be a good excuse to start learning metric measurements.
It would, but I feel like that ship has sailed for me. And so in order for me to see what we use, I have to use my right hand. And I also want you to think next time you play, I don't know, some card game, and you fan the cards out, fan them the opposite way. Let's see if you can see the numbers and the suits in the top corner. You can't. Spoiler alert. Yeah. It's a hard knock life for us. Speaking of gingers. So it is also Marzipan Day. Now, I brought this up because marzipan is gross. Do you know what marzipan is?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think it's gross though. It's
Almond paste?
yeah, delicious.
It's so sweet.
It's Swedish.
I mean, I don't think it is Swedish, but
Sweet-ish. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it all depends on what you do with it. I mean, like, there was just recently a terrible sketch on SNL where they
the marzipan.
dumped on marzipan for like 15 minutes. And it's like, okay, let's get a few more jokes in there,
I know.
please.
Marzipan.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad item, but it's not one of those things where, have it just as a cube, like you would like a piece of chocolate or something.
Right.
It's something where you use it as an ingredient, and then you've got something good with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like fondant or something.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Which, I mean, then when you get...
It's meant for baking. It's not meant for divvying it up and then just eat it.
Well...
Although that's not bad. It's just not as good as it could be.
Well, okay. So the little candies that are shaped like, banana, apple, peach, those kinds of things, they're beautiful. Like, done well, they're little works of art. However, you don't want to eat that. At least in my opinion.
I disagree.
And then fondant, there is a bakery that is in Redmond, and they make a delicious princess torte. And it's a cake that apparently they had to make on the Great British Bake Off or whatever that show is. And so it's very specific, and it has a layer of fondant. And I love that cake, and I take the fondant off. Maybe I don't like the almond flavor. I like almonds, but I don't know. But anyway, hey, happy Marzipan Day.
Happy Marzipan Day. Whenever somebody says fondant, I have to think, now, is that the cake thing or is that the thing that babies have as part of their soft skull? I have to look it up and go,
fondant
okay.
is the cake thing.
Right.
That you roll out. Yeah. Yeah, and if you want people to celebrate Marzipan Day, go to YouTube and look up the SNL skit. I think it was the one that was with Austin Butler.
It's not worth your time.
It wasn't a good skit, admittedly. But if you don't know what marzipan is, it might give you a better idea? Question mark. I don't know. Maybe people are bored. This is water cooler talk, remember? Okay. It is also stick to your New Year's resolution day. Now, I only bring this one up because do you make a New Year's resolution?
I have in the past, but I haven't this year.
Okay.
I've been too busy. So maybe sometime around March or something, I'll go, you know what I should have done for a New Year's resolution?
Well,
Chinese New Year, maybe.
There you go.
I can incorporate it into that,
Perfect. You can, maybe your resolution is you're not taking down your decorations instead.
I think my resolution should be stop procrastinating, but I'm going to get to that in March.
Perfect. Yeah, the resolution thing, I am not a fan of it. In the past few years, let's say in the past, 7 years, I have chosen probably 4 of them to do a word. And I will tell you what, the year that I chose and, replacing the word but with and, that has stayed with me absolutely. Anytime I go to say the word but, I think, wait, can the word and be replaced? Because when you say something, whatever you've said before...
Do these jeans make my and look big?
No. No, they don't.
Okay.
And that is not what I mean.
Gotcha.
You see what I did there? So anyway, so my word for the year is clear. I'm exploring it.
All right.
And I have stuck with it in so much that I haven't forgotten what it is.
Well, that's good.
So that's clear. And then birthdays today, Jeff Bezos, I only bring it up because he's local. and because I feel like I
I mean,
personally,
I don't think he's from here.
well, no, but I mean
but
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, was
Right.
birthed here in the Seattle area.
And I feel like I have given him many a birthday gift with the purchases that I have made. I mean,
Right.
I probably paid for 1/1,000,000th of his trip to space in his giant thing. And it's also the birthday of Howard Stern. Now, you're in radio. What do you think about Howard Stern?
I mean, he certainly is a broadcasting legend. I haven't really paid much attention to him except for he used to appear on David Letterman's show quite a bit. So I enjoyed those conversations. But
He's
as far as
very
like
smart.
seeking out his show,
See, you said but. You could say and.
I could, but I never made that resolution. So
Well, maybe. So I also think regionally, because coming from the East Coast, before he went on to Sirius Radio, he was just on like New York Airways.
yeah, he was one of the original shock jocks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, you know, he definitely had this isn't really the right terminology, but like a jump the shark moment, meaning he always had interesting things to say and was clearly very intelligent and knew exactly what he was doing. And then the public, you know, it's like with anything that is consumed, you have to give the public more of what they want or more of what you think they want, right? Which is why there's like 107 Fast and Furious movies. So, you know, more and more, he started doing like this ridiculous stuff. And it seemed to be what people wanted. And then he didn't want to be hemmed and hawed and by regular radio. So he went to Sirius and all that kind of stuff. However, I always felt like when I listened to him, like he knew that this stuff was ridiculous and that he's a pretty smart guy. I don't know. That was my take on him. You know, a lot of the shenanigans that he talked about. And he always was lovely about talking about his wife, and then they divorced and now he's married to someone else. And she is the one that I think has brought like the puppy bowl or the kitten bowl, right? Yeah.
I have no idea.
These are the weird facts that I know. I'm pretty sure that the woman that he's married to now is responsible for doing like the kitten bowl during like Super Bowl, how they have the puppy bowl. I think she did the kitten bowl.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, happy birthday, Howard, and begrudgingly, happy birthday, Jeff. You're welcome. Okay. So at this point in the show, we normally talk about any regrets. However, we haven't done a show in so long, I can't remember what we talked about. So I have no regrets.
Yeah, same.
Okay, perfect. Love it. So let's take a break.
Oh, I got to tell you, though, not a regret, but when I was making dinner on Christmas Eve, I listened to our playlist, the Damped Ball, the holiday playlist that we put together on Spotify. And it was a great accompaniment. There was one or two selections I thought, I don't know about, and skipped. Sorry.
Wow.
Just being honest. But I think anybody listening to it is going to think that too. And it probably is my selections. But, you know, it was a great accompaniment to put me in the holiday mood while I was making dinner.
Oh, good.
And you know what I did is I baked the pies, the coconut pies that we talked about with my mom on the show, and they turned out great. I made one, as a test one to have, at home. And then I took one over to my dad's house on Christmas Day, and they liked it. And it was great. And I saved you a slice, but because I didn't see you for 2 weeks, I had to eat that slice.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
That's
but
okay.
next time I make it, I'll bring in some for you for sure.
I love that. I love that you made the pie. I love that you listened to the playlist.
That was probably, I think, the first pie that I've ever made from scratch, too, and it turned out well.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Do you even make the
It was nice.
scratch or the
crust?
Yeah.
This time around, I did not, but I've made crust before. And it's easier than it sounds. So
it is.
Next time, when I have a little more time, I'm going to make the crust as well as the pie.
There you go. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay. All right. Well, let's take a break. And then when we come back, today's topic is, how many states have we visited? We'll be right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk.
We'll find out what state we're in.
Stacy Connects. It's not just my business, it's my superpower. Whether you need the right tone and messaging for a new venture, or you've plateaued with your current one, I can help. I connect clients with themselves and their potential. Then, I identify unique solutions that translate your brand into messaging that connects your target audience with your business. Go to stacyconnects.com to connect with me and your messaging.
Interested in learning something new? Meeting someone new? Find out things that we have in common? Well, of course you are. You're a human being. So let's get intentional about it. Join me, JDK Winnikin, every week and get all of that in less than an hour. I'm a writer, a historian, a social commentator, and my show is all about you. Really, that's what it's called. This show is all about you. Get my perspectives on the week's news and hear fascinating guests whose stories will inspire and move you. My show is all about giving you something that connects us. Join me Mondays on Kixie 880 at 3 p.m. or download it as a podcast.
Can't get enough of Stacy and Eric? Then be sure and check out Stacy Connects with Stacy Heller wherever you find podcasts. Stacy chats with guests about a variety of topics, hoping to make a connection through conversation.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk with Stacy Heller, and of course, with my co-host.
Hey, it's me, Eric Ryder.
So, if you've been listening, then you know that now it's time for us to talk about the random topic that we selected last time, and that is how many states we have visited. Now, according to my handy-dandy graph that I made, or I guess it's a table, what I did is I put in all 50 Nifty United States in alphabetical order. Did you notice that?
I did. This is
and
very nice.
I created a little key because I was like, okay, there's visiting. And then I was like, well, it's kind of fun to talk about like if you've lived in more than one state. And then I was like, all right, well, then what are the states that you really just were like in the airport? Like it counts. But like, it's not a visit though. It's like an airport visit. And then there's the ones that you've done nothing. Now, before we get started, did you learn when you were in elementary school the song, The 50 Nifty United States?
No.
From 13 Original Colonies?
I've never heard of this.
You could shout it, scout them, yell or tell all about them one by one till we've given a day to every state that's in the USA. And I learned this song, and I will tell you what, in 8th grade, when we had to learn all 50 states and their capitals, I was just humming along, doing my Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, and then I just had to learn the capitals.
That's cool. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I mean, obviously, songs can really stick in your brain. And, I still know the Oscar Mayer song that I do not need to know.
Right?
I still know like the Big Mac song that
12 beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
There you go. And I'd love to purge that stuff from my brain. But something useful like the names of all the states in the U.S., boy.
Right?
That would have been helpful.
It was so helpful.
California public school system falling down on the job by not introducing that.
It's like a mnemonic device? I mean,
yeah.
It basically is such a good way to learn. And like, I am 52 years old. I'm going to be 53 years old this year. And I can still name all 50 states in alphabetical order. It's like a party trick.
Yeah, I like it.
So, hey, if there's any teachers out there that teach elementary school, if you yourself are a teacher, look up the 50 Nifty United States song. Or if you know a teacher, share it with them. I don't care if they're in high school. Learn this song. Okay, I'm done. So, how many states have you lived in?
Let's see. California.
Yep.
Nevada. Washington. Alaska. So 4.
Same. Wow. I'm New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Washington.
Wow. So mostly East Coast for you, mostly West Coast for me.
Alaska. Weren't you like the guy on that show?
Northern Exposure?
Yes.
I'm not a doctor, so no.
The John Corbett character.
Yes.
Yeah. He was the radio guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking
I didn't actually watch Northern Exposure.
That was such a good little show. Yeah. And it was a show that they did some of the filming actually
up here in Washington. Yeah.
So, all right, that's kind of cool.
Rosalind, Washington, I believe.
Yeah,
huh.
That's true. All right, that's kind of cool. How long did you live in Alaska?
For 2 years.
And I'll ask you this. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Southeast, where I lived in Juneau and I lived in Ketchikan. Beautiful places, but it does rain a ton. We think we get, lots of rain here. Nothing compared to Alaska. And, there's no roads leading out of either town. So it's either the ferry or the plane if you want to go somewhere.
Wow.
So that can add up. That could be quite expensive,
or
take a long time. So I didn't get out much outside of the areas. But luckily, there's so much beautiful nature to explore that, it was very cool. After about 2 years, I was like, I need to get back to Washington. But the time that I was there, I did enjoy.
That's cool. I think it's interesting to move someplace, especially when you're younger. I'm assuming this is earlier in your career.
Yep.
Where, you just kind of take a hard left somewhere and it's like, you know what? I'm going to go live here or do this.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Right? I have a dear friend whose daughter decided to teach in Alaska and she made it through a year. I will tell you the stories of where she was and like the life and the lifestyle and all of that. It was brutal, and yet it helped shape her worldview, and it opened up her eyes to like, oh, okay, there's so much more out there, even within like our immediate surroundings than we realize. All right, so that's cool. Any states that have just been airport for you?
Oh, yeah. I think I've had layovers in Utah. I've had layovers in Texas. And trying to think where else. I can't even remember because to me, it doesn't really count as visiting a place. You get a little bit of the character in the airport of a place. Nashville, so Tennessee was another one that stopped off at the airport for a layover. But, so the local barbecue joint may have a branch in the airport. So that's as close as you get to the local flavor, unfortunately, at an airport. But, it's still kind of cool to say, hey, I've been to Tennessee for 2 hours.
Yeah, I have 2, Arizona and Colorado, that were airport only. And we were talking before the show about, I was like, okay, so like if I was in Vegas and I took a helicopter trip over the Hoover Dam to go see the Grand Canyon, does that count? And we decided it didn't because it was not like terra firma. Like I didn't step on the ground. I flew over.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I could say that I've been in a lot of states.
Sure. I've flown over a lot of states.
Right, exactly.
They don't call them the flyover states for nothing. But yeah, speaking of Arizona, I have spent maybe 20 minutes in Arizona because visiting the Hoover Dam, as you say, it's right on the border of Arizona and Nevada. So I crossed over briefly into Arizona, but to me, it just looked like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. There wasn't a lot going on there, but I'm sure if I got down to like Phoenix or Tempe or someplace like that, it would have been more interesting.
Well, maybe. Okay. And then how many states then have you visited? Like I think I can. Let me see if I counted right. 8. I have visited 20 states.
Wow. I think I visited maybe 10. So
okay,
you've done quite a bit more than me as far as that goes.
Well, okay, because if you think about it, you are a West Coast guy, right? So California, Washington, Alaska, and then like Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Like basically the West Coast is made up of like 4 states.
Right.
And you were like state adjacent with Nevada. On the East Coast, we're lousy with states.
Yeah.
That's and so
lot smaller states.
Totally.
Yeah. In an afternoon, you can drive in the 5 states,
Well, and I was careful about, did I really visit these or were they pass-throughs? But, I have family that lives in Massachusetts and friends that went to school there. I have family in Rhode Island. I went to Delaware as a kid and spent one with a friend who was thinking about a college there, and then another time or a couple other times, and then Maryland, spent a week there on vacation on their shore. It's really been more like the mid-Atlantic to the Northeast. I really haven't spent a lot of time down south. We used to go to a place called Kiowa Island, which is near Charleston, South Carolina. And that was awesome. I always flew in, though, because the kids were little. And Pete would drive down with one of the kids, the oldest kid or the two oldest kids, and I would fly. And so he drove through a lot of the southern states. I did the flyover because I was like, that sounds hideous to me. I get car sick. And then I've done a lot of the northeastern states. And then I haven't really done, like, I've been to Minnesota and I've been to Chicago, so Illinois. But, like, I haven't done really, like, Wyoming and Montana or any of that. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't.
I mean, time constraints, other stuff, all these things that keep us in place, no doubt. But,
well, you could get like instead of a 2-fer, you could get a 4-fer by visiting the Four Corners, like that spot in the country where you can see, what is it? Trying to think what the 4 states are. It's, okay, I'm looking it up on the internet. You're probably able to find it faster than me. I think it's Utah and
Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, like, you could go to Four Corners and you could just knock out
there you go.
4 at once.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like me driving over the border to Arizona and while visiting the Hoover Dam. It counts about as much as that. It's like you could say, hey, I've been that. It's kind of like a layover, really,
Well, our Texas trip was supposed to be a layover. So we went, I think it was in 2015, to Florida to visit my in-laws for Christmas. And our trip home, there was terrible storms. It was just this weird year. And, flights canceled and all these things. And, our luggage went without us and whatever. And we ended up having enough time we drove to, I'm trying to think where it is. Where's the Alamo?
Texas.
Well, I know that. But is it Austin? No, it's not Austin. Where is it? I'm so bad at geography. It's somewhere.
Isn't it Tucson?
No, that's Arizona.
Okay. I San Antonio, probably.
San Antonio. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So we got a car so that we could drive to San Antonio and fly out of there. So we get there and we basically had to go to the mall and get clean clothes for the 6 of us. And we saw the Alamo. We did the downtown. There's this little water thing that you can do. And so we didn't go on purpose, but we ended up spending 48 hours there. And it was actually very interesting. So it was,
what I found is that, we all have kind of conceptions of probably every state, and most of them are probably not terribly accurate. Mm-hmm. But the places that I visited where I didn't think this is going to be any fun, I've got to do this for whatever reason, and then I stumbled across something neat and cool, it's been a really nice surprise. And I've kind of figured out that, pretty much every state in the union has some neat areas where there's, some fun cool things to do and visit regardless of what you like in life.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Totally.
I was very pleasantly surprised when I bought a car from a guy in Boise, Idaho, and I flew over there to pick up that car and spent the weekend in Boise.
Boise's supposed to be great.
It was a lot of fun, and I had no expectations going in other than Idaho seems a little bit square to me.
No, Idaho.
Right? But I found that they had a fantastic farmer's market. They've got some great restaurants. They've got some neat old school architecture downtown. And so I thought, Boise's all right in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Jen, that lives there. Hey, Jen, if you're listening. She is awesome, and she lives in that area, and we have some other friends whose daughter went to Boise State, and he's from that area, and they love it, and they have considered moving there. It seems like it's a cool, happening little town.
Now, conversely, I had a layover in Dallas, Texas, and it was so hot just in the walkway from the plane to the airport itself that I said to myself, yeah, no thanks. I'm not going back to Texas.
Yeah.
I was sweating in like a 2-minute walk between the plane to the gate and just
is that the airport
brutal heat
that has like the cool tunnel that when you go through, like the lights change in the ceiling?
I have no idea.
I can't keep track. Like, there's this one airport that whenever I go through it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is so cool. Because when you're changing, like, terminals and going from one to the other, and it's this cool thing, and you go on one of those, like, the walking things, and the lights change in the ceiling, and it's really cool. And it's typically, like, the middle of the night because I'm taking, like, a red eye that has a layover in the middle of the night, and I'm bleary-eyed, and I'm like, is everybody else experiencing this, or is this just me? Yeah. Okay, what states on the East Coast have you visited?
So New York, North Carolina, Virginia, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Washington, D.C., not a state yet.
Not a state,
but
district.
I've been there.
I have been there.
Had a good time.
It's I remember going as a kid. We stayed in a hotel, and there was a bowling alley in the basement. These are the little details that when you're a kid,
in Washington, D.C., there was the...
Yeah, and like those are the like the random little details that you're like that struck a chord, right? And I went...
New Jersey. I'm sorry, because I've flown into New Jersey a couple of times in Newark. That's right. And I actually spent an evening in Hoboken.
Hoboken, I'm dying.
Yeah, and I loved Hoboken.
Hoboken is great.
I thought, well, this is a great town.
That's where Frank Sinatra's from.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's far overshadowed by New York City, just across the water. But I think if I were to live on the East Coast, I might consider Hoboken.
Hoboken is great. It's where Buddy Valastro, the baker from Carlo's Bakery, is from. Frank Sinatra's from there. It is a very culturally rich area, and it is really cool. Awesome food. It's just got so much character. It's a really cool area. I would totally live in Hoboken. And it makes me think of the Looney Tunes. For some reason, I feel like Bugs Bunny was like, Hoboken, I'm dying. I'll have to look it up. But there's something where he landed somewhere, and that's the thing that he said, and it always stuck in my head. Kind of like Abbott and Costello and the whole, like, Susquehanna Hot Company. Like, it's an earworm.
I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Yes! And it was like, Hoboken, I'm dying. Yeah, so thank you for making me not feel crazy. Okay, and then... Did you spend any significant time in New York, or was it like a...
Oh, yeah. I've actually got a friend that lives in Brooklyn now, used to live in Manhattan.
Okay.
So I go hang out with him on occasion, spent a few days in New York.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so, yeah. I still haven't been to the Statue of Liberty, So I still plenty to visit in trips in the future.
Yeah, I'm like... Yes, it's important. Statue of Liberty, it's important, right? Yeah. It was like the gateway.
That's the thing. When you've got somebody that lives in a place that you go to hang out with, they never want to do the touristy things,
And I think it's about like, kind of like I was joking about like the Four Corners, right? Where you can get like bang for your buck, if you will. Like in New York, I would almost say like take the Circle Line or the Staten Island Ferry so that you can get a better sense of like the geography of like, Manhattan, because that's the other thing. Like, New York is a huge state. I mean, I went to college in Saratoga Springs, New York, and that's like a horse racing capital of like the state. And it was like a 5-hour drive or bus ride on the Greyhound bus from my college into Manhattan. So, I mean, it is a big state. And I think so many people refer to like New York when they mean Manhattan. And so, I'm from Long Island. And then there's like upstate New York where my parents are from. So like think Buffalo. You've been hearing a lot in the news about Buffalo for multiple reasons. And so it's a very interesting, diverse state. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. Shout out for my hometown. Okay, what's the state that surprised you the most that you visited?
Surprised me the most. In what respect?
Well, kind of like how you talked about, like you were like, oh, Boise, all right. Like, what's some place that it was like, oh, all right. Like, I don't know. Maybe you already answered it with Boise.
Well, no, I mean, I had family that lived in Missouri, and we used to go visit them and go to visit their teeny town called Trenton, but in Missouri, not New Jersey.
I know. I was like, Trenton makes, the world takes. There's a Trenton makes bridge.
And they lived in another teeny town that I can't remember. So that was always kind of neat to see these little towns in middle America. But so I went to Kansas City, because we flew in there. But I was like, this time around, I'm going to spend a couple days in Kansas City before I go up to teeny town. And so I got some of the flavor of Kansas City.
Barbecue.
And yeah, great barbecue. And they've got a beautiful train station. Not a lot else, unfortunately. But, another time on the other side of the state, I had occasion to visit St. Louis. And again, I had no thoughts about what St. Louis was going to be like, other than, going to Kansas City was a little bit anticlimactic. But I was very pleasantly surprised by visiting St. Louis, just how cool it was. I mean, they got a great downtown, another fantastic train station, some good restaurants, very friendly people, some super cool architecture, and it was so affordable. It was crazy because I got like a suite there. At the time, it was like $50 a night, and they had a rooftop pool that overlooked the river and the city. And I was like, "Oh, this is great." Then I go to New York, paid twice as much, and
the
you were
room, in like a youth hostel.
The room was like a quarter of the size of the place in St. Louis. So I thought, wow. Yeah, I think I need to go back to St. Louis.
Well, hey, I mean,
maybe
in St. Louis,
there.
right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a musical.
Yeah, and they've got this huge park, and part of the park has a permanent exhibit on when they hosted the World's Fair, kind of like Seattle Center. That was a really cool surprise. I had no idea that St. Louis was that cool.
Yeah, it's so it's supposed to be just lovely, 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 lovely. My state that I have really enjoyed visiting is Vermont. My parents bought a second home there years and years and years ago. My dad is now since deceased, and my mom sold it after his death. But just one of these little like cool areas that like the food is amazing. You'd think that it would be kind of and I don't mean to offend.
I hear the maple syrup is top notch.
Well, it's amazing. The cheese, like it's one of these places where like people with a lot of money,
a lot of cheddar,
exactly, and a lot of better cheddar. Like they're like, that's it. I've had it with city life, and I'm gonna go to Vermont and buy a country store and make like gourmet sandwiches.
Sounds like I definitely need to visit New England. Of course, that everybody talks about the foliage being so beautiful.
It's
so
amazing. You can there are like leaf peeping tours.
Leaf peeping.
Which is just weird. I know. Yeah. Anyway.
Gonna wait till I'm 70 for that one.
Right?
But
then you'll be a a peeping Eric. Speaking of the East Coast,
I'm going to leave that alone.
Oh, I guess I'm barking up the wrong tree.
Oh man, we we need to wrap up because
and branch out.
And oh no.
Well, here's the deal. I can make all these jokes because I can. And speaking of the East Coast, though, we have to talk about Dingfelders. Now, Vance today is slammed, and so he can't join today.
Yeah. So shall we take a break and then we'll come back and talk about Dingfelders?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Keep listening. Whether it's fly fishing or French pastry, we all have something that makes our tail wag. Involuntary and instinctive, it's sparked by excitement, inspired by purpose, and it speaks to who we are. I'm Stacey Heller of Stacey Connects. I lead clients to the place that makes their tail wag. As a creative director, I bring ideas to life. As a podcast producer, I give ideas a voice. Stacey Connects. It's my superpower. If you want to connect with me, Stacey Heller, go to staceyconnects.com. Hey, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk. So our sponsor of the show is Dingfelder's Delicatessen and Nourish Catering, Vance Dingfelder. He normally...
Vance Dingfelder, of course, a proud Seattleite by way of New York City.
Totally.
His hometown. So he's a cross-country man as well, and no doubt he's been to many states. But unfortunately, he's in a state of exhaustion, probably, because he is a busy man now that they've opened up.
They have.
They finally opened up the dining room for folks, which is fantastic. He's been talking about it on the show for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, we did a couple encores on the radio the last couple weeks. So it was interesting to hear him talk about it in both of those occasions. And to have it finally come to fruition is a wonderful thing. So congratulations, Vance. And we can't wait to come see you and get some of your amazing food.
I know. I'll have to bring recording equipment so that we can listen to the sound of us biting into one of his sandwiches and the crunchy pickles and, all the good stuff. But it's amazing. And if you are looking for authentic Jewish deli, you will find it at Dingfelder's. If you want
it's
authentic...
It's a taste of New York.
It is a taste of New York.
Here in Seattle.
Totally. And if you don't want that, let's say you want something else, good news. There's also Nourish Catering. And Nourish Catering is not just delicatessen or New York. It is whatever you want to make your party amazing. So you can connect with Vance at dingfeldersdelicatessen.com, or maybe it's dingfelders.com.
That's right, dingfelders.com.
Dingfelders.com. And you can also go to nourishcatering.com, and they can take care of whatever you need for your next event, big or small. So connect with the team at Dingfelders, connect with the folks at Nourish Catering, and get yourself a sandwich. Trust me, you'll be so happy. Okay.
No better way to celebrate any holiday, ridiculous, high holidays, or well accepted and celebrated holidays.
Exactly.
Like,
if you're local and you actually get the day off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day,
there you go.
You know what? Go in and visit Dingfelders and tell the people that Stacey and Eric sent you.
Absolutely. And, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up, so, treat your sweetie to something good.
Oh, look at you. Okay. Speaking of sweetie, hey, sweetie, what are we going to talk about next week?
Hey, just because it's Kiss a Ginger Day.
I don't know. I was just trying to sweeten you up. What are we going to talk about next week?
Let's find out. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what the idea is behind this, but it's childhood rules.
Oh, okay. I know what this is. This is like those things, the rules that you had in childhood that either don't make sense now, or things like back when I was a kid, we didn't have seatbelts and we just rolled around in the back seat kind of a thing. Well, like back when I was a kid, like we hardly had seatbelts. So we're going to have some fun with like, how things have changed. Like I had to walk uphill both ways.
Buckle up.
Exactly.
It's going to be an exciting show.
Remember, go kiss a ginger tonight. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, and visit a new state.
Okay, maybe next week.
Yeah.